Listen. I found a technique for hooded eyes to do a winged liner. I found it. I found the secret. You guys know I have hooded eyes, so that means I don't have a lot of space. I have an overhanging crease, which means that I can't wear a winged liner. I love wearing a winged liner. I accepted that it's not really meant for me, so, you know, actually I didn't really accept it. I did a video on like the struggles with having hooded eyes, and I tried different eyeliner techniques and I didn't really like them. I liked one which was a very super simple, very thin wing, which I liked, but it's kind of like, you know, like it's a nice wing, but it wasn't like a wing, like a snatched wing. And I was trying to figure out how I could do a wing. And someone actually mentioned in the comments that I needed to draw my wing like on top of my crease, like drawing it, not doing this and not trying any techniques, just drawing it. But I was like, that doesn't look good if you close your eyes, but it actually does look good when you try this eyeliner technique, which is a little bit like graphic. I do have to mention that it's a little bit editorial, so maybe it's not for everyone, or, you know, for daily use when you go to work or something like that. But I just want to give you this solution, because you can just maybe, I don't know, like do it your own way. Obviously we all have different hooded eyes and different shapes, so let's get started. I'm going to do my base as well. I'm going to use this Silk Canvas primer from Tatcha. I know you're supposed to use a very tiny bit, but you know, you guys can see how rude my skin is to me, like how disrespectful it treats me, because I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know. It feels super itchy around my forehead. I was just enjoying my clean skin for 2 weeks, and then so the foundation that I'm going to use is from Nabla Cosmetics, and this is Close Up. I think this was a bit too dark. I'm going to use this one. This is a sample, but they also send the full size, which is lighter, and they come in a lot of different shades. Let me check. So this is how it looks like. I think it's a pretty fair like shade range. We have lights over here, we have mediums over here. I'm going to use this one. Then we have tans over here, and then we have darker, deeper skin tones over here. So and this is actually how the foundation looks like. And then we also have the powders like in this drawer right there. So you guys can see I already used one, which is the lightest under my eyes, and I liked it. This blender came in the box, so I'm going to use this one for the first time. It actually feels super comfortable. What I'm also going to do is I actually uploaded a I know this looks a little too dark, but I'm going in with my concealer later. I actually uploaded a photo on Instagram, which is kind of like, I don't know, like, I was really inspired by the Asian kind of eye, like a winged liner and then a pointy liner over here. And this whole vibe, I really liked it, and you guys seem to really like it too, so thank you for that. So that was very like editorial-like, so I'm going to kind of like show you two options. So this is pretty much how the foundation looks like. I know it's a bit more yellow, but yesterday I wore the same foundation, like the same shade, and I really liked it with the concealer and with the base like done. I'm also going to use their concealers. I did it yesterday. It's medium peach, and this is a light ivory. Medium peach is actually pretty dark. It's kind of like my skin tone, and this is a very light. So I'm going to use a tiny bit of this and more like cover and correct with this one. I'm just going in with my foundation brush, but I'm not going to blend it, more like stamp it into the spot. To blend my concealer with, I'm going to use this Sigma Precision Flat Angled brush. I actually really like this brush. So like Sigma brushes, but also like Zoeva brushes, they're like super comfy. You see that this is more to kind of like correct and cover. So now that everything looks super clean, I'm going to bring in some dimension into the face. Go choose this Nabla concealer, as I said, in the shade Light Ivory. This is super light, so I'm going in with a tiny bit. So like there, I would say right there and there. Oh my god, it's a triangle. Illuminati. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to highlight. So I'm blending it a tiny bit with the foundation brush. Okay, so I'm going to use this Hollywood Flawless filter. It's actually a primer, but you can use it in different ways. I want to have a tiny bit of glow. To contour my face, I'm going to use this Laura Mercier Flawless Contouring Palette. Usually I mix 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know why, but I just do that. So this is a petite face definer brush. I think it's a good brush for contouring from Zoeva. And I am going to start right here. And this looks weird, but if we are going to blend this, everything looks a little bit more lifted, if that makes sense. But I saw this technique, I don't know, was it Scott and Tati's video? I don't know, I saw someone doing this. I was like, yes. Right here. You know, the Sigma brush that we've blended our concealer with, I'm going to contour my nose. I'm going to use the lightest color. And kind of like whatever is left on the brush, I am like bringing it down. I'm going to blend the contour. I'm just using the same brush to see if it works, but I feel like it works. The base is almost finished. Yeah, the base is almost finished. I'm going to kind of like set the contour with this bronzer from MAC. Not this bronzer. This bronzer from MAC, which is dark deep, and I really love this shade. This color is kind of like a dirty bronze, like a, I don't know, I get like desert vibes, like J-Lo vibes, like I'm a bronze goddess vibes, you know what I mean? So yeah, by the way, I'm using my powder brush 106 from Zoeva. I'm just roughly going over the contour. I think for blush, let's just go in with this blush right here, which is from the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I'm using this foundation brush from Zoeva to blend it with. Oh, it's a nice pinky color. I didn't even know I had this highlighter. It's from Jeffree Star Frozen Peach. Usually I have like Wet's Dream. Oh my god, this highlighter is beautiful. It's kind of like a glitter highlighter in a good way. Like the glitters are super subtle. As the name says, it's kind of like peach, but I don't know, I really like it, especially with my skin tone. It's really good. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills A23 brush. Even though it's really like shiny, I feel like it's not really like unnatural looking since it doesn't really add any color. It's more like shimmer and shine. Oh, you guys. So I'm going in with this close-up powder, also from Nala Cosmetics, and I am going to powder my whole face with this, kind of like the buffing technique. And I'm just going to use a bronzer brush for this because it's like super fluffy. But I'm not going to use this under my eyes yet because we are going to use another brush for that. So just go over on top of everything. People always say like, oh my god, like I want to have a dewy base, but how can I make sure that it's not sticky and that, you know, like my husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever doesn't have a huge stain on his or her shoulder when I hug that person. And, you know, powder, you just need to use a very light, airy, like a very airy powder. And that way it will like still look dewy, but it won't feel dewy. You know what I mean? So the stickiness will go away. And then after that, I always go in with my setting spray to make sure everything is like super long lasting while we still look dewy. Taking my beauty blender again, I'm going to make sure there are no creases. So once it's creaseless, I'm going in with this powder brush. It's actually super nice. I'm really impressed by this brush because you can see how precise this is. Also from Nala Cosmetics in Precision Powder Brush. I'm going to use this light close-up powder. And I'm just going to press the powder onto the concealer. And it looks absolutely flawless. You can still see a tiny bit of a darker circle, but honestly I'd rather have a tiny bit of a darker circle and having no creases under my eyes than having a super full coverage concealer where you can see like anything except a lot of creasing. So that's kind of like, you know, what do you find more important? So after that, I always check if my contour looks a bit smudgy, and yes, it looks a tiny bit smudgy. So I'm going in with the same powder brush, and then actually with the same powder, but a darker one. This is in the shade medium. And I'm kind of like defining the contour a tiny bit, so it looks a bit more clean. Okay, going in with my Beauty Blender Do Me setting spray. I'm going to do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back to do the eyes. If you don't know how I do my brows and if you want to know, I have a YouTube tutorial for that as well, and I will link that in the description box below. I will. Trust me, I will. The brows are done and now we are going to do the eyeliner, and I'm just so glad that I found a technique. Hooded eyes. Makes me emotional. I'm going to use the Naked Reloaded palette because we're not going to do a lot with the eyeshadow. We're just going to do a very, very basic, maybe 1 or 2 colors. I'm going to use Boundaries, which is this shade right here. And then I think I'm going in with this shade, which is Bucket, to darken up the crease a tiny bit. So nothing crazy with the eyeshadow because we want the focus to be on the liner. You know, if we are going to do a liner finally for the first time in years with hooded eyes, we want to see the liner, you know. Let's go. This is Jaclyn Hill Morphe Foundation in 33. So I'm just blending it like that. Also going to use that on my lower lash line. Also going in with a tiny bit of Bucket just to make sure we have some sort of a crease. So we're going to do the eyeliner right now. I always start with a darker eyeshadow because if you're going to make any mistakes, you will be able to correct it very easily. And you know, with an eyeliner, you can't really correct it. So yeah, I'm going to start with this dark brown shade, which is called Endgame, right here. And you can also start with a black shadow, like a darker shadow. And this is what I do. Let me zoom you in. So you're pretty zoomed in. Here you can see the problem. If I do a normal wing and I look up, I have enough space to do a beautiful wing. But that only looks beautiful when I look up. Unless I do a tiny wing and stop right here. Okay, so now we are actually going to draw a wing on top of this crease. And when you look up, it doesn't look good in the beginning. So that's why we need to do kind of like a graphic liner to make it look good. I'm using the brow brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. You can also use an eyeliner brush. And then I'm going in with the color Endgame. I have a little mirror over here. I'm just going to look straight. And I'm starting like really thin, like pressing the eyeshadow into the lash line. And then usually, like, you really like tempted to do this, but you just need to look straight. I feel like, oh, that would be a nice wing liner. You see, I'm just going on top of it. As you guys can see, I'm just looking straight. So just ignore the fact that this looks horrible. So just create a wing. Just like how you would do it if you wouldn't have hooded eyes. Now when I look straight to the camera, you kind of see that I have a wing going on. But the only problem is that this doesn't really look good yet. So that's where the graphic liner comes in. So what I do is now I kind of look up, fill in all the gaps, and kind of like perfect the lines. Like that. So this looks a little too weird. Like, is it a graphic liner or what is this? So you kind of like make it graphic by making this part a little longer. So now I'm going in with eyeliner, and this is the part where it's going to look good. I'm using the Better Than Sex eyeliner from Too Faced, and I'm just going on top of the eyeshadow. So this is a pretty bold wing, but I feel like if I look straight into the camera, you can still see a wing. And I know that not everyone's going to like this. It's kind of like a graphic liner, but I feel like it's super unique. It kind of looks badass. And I don't know, I personally really like it. And I was like, you know what, this is an option. If you don't like it, don't do it. But if you like it, then you do you. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then I'm also going to show you a trick to kind of like make your eyes look more elongated. Like I find it so beautiful, but I can only wear it for 1 minute because, you know, teary eyes. I'm back. I did the other eye as well. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the inner corners and make it really pointy. So we have a very long eye. So I'm going to take the same eyeliner, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually kind of like following the line of my eye. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it, but like super thin. I'm just looking straight. I'm also going to line this part right here. So now we have like a very nice elongated eye. So I'm going to do this side, apply some mascara, maybe lashes, and then I'll be right back to do the lips and show you the end result. So I applied some mascara. The mascara that I use is this MAC Extra Lash Dimension Mascara. I didn't use lashes because I didn't want to get rid of the shape of the eye. Sometimes when you use lashes, your eyes can look a little bit more round. I could have used a more like a cat eyelash, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. I like this with mascara. To make this look a tiny bit more interesting, if we are going to do something editorials anyway, I'm going to use the same blush from Natasha Denona that we've used. And I'm going to use this a tiny bit, even though I know we've powdered, but this is super creamy. I'm going to use it right there, there, and there. I'm quickly going to blend it before this dries, like that. So you bring the blush all the way up to the hairline. For lips, I'm going to use this Terra lip cream from Jouer Cosmetics. Look at my hand. And then on top of that, I'm going in with this Nicki Minaj, the Pinkprint MAC Cosmetics lipstick. And every time I wear these two, like everyone asks, like, what are you wearing on your lips? So the lip liner that I'm using is MAC Whirl. I'm going in with the lip cream. So now I'm using the Nicki Minaj lipstick. So that is pretty much it for this look. I personally really love this look because I feel like it's unique, it's different, and you know, it is a way to wear a winged liner when you have hooded eyes. Even if it's not really your cup of tea, you can still try this to see how a winged liner would look on you. Maybe you're like, oh, it doesn't even look good, so you're not missing out. I just wanted to share this technique with you. Let me know what you guys think of this look. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, follow me on Instagram, and leave me a comment. And I'll see you guys in my next video.